when talking about jazz,
Mm-hmm.
after how long did you start performing out, like after you left Starehe? Because at Starehe, that's where you mastered the saxophone, no?
I mastered the saxophone in Starehe.
Yeah.
Began to teach at a place called Real Music School immediately because I came from a poor background. You know how Starehe was, yeah?
Yeah.
So I needed to fend for my family. I'm the fifth in a family of 9. I needed to educate the rest of them. I educated all my family members from the firstborn
Yeah.
to the lastborn. In fact, the lastborn left me just 4 years ago.
Mm.
Yeah, he's married with his kids and everything. I educated all of them because my parents couldn't. In fact, it delayed my university education. So I had to study through correspondence. I had to study at Cambridge University.
Yeah.
So right now I'm a Cambridge University music moderator.
Oh.
I mark music for Cambridge University.
Mm.
Yeah. So I'm an academician.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you see? I taught at the Aga Khan Academy for 6 years after my qualification. I was music director there. I was teaching a theory of knowledge, critical thinking, and religious studies at the Aga Khan Academy. I resigned in 2006 to get into private business. So if you see, there's a blue car over there.
Yeah.
I bought that when I was a teacher at Aga Khan Academy. I bought it when it was new.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's
The business acumen is what has helped me. Just investing the money I used to make as a teacher. Then after that, of course, I got into business, then joined my father-in-law in his large-scale businesses. That's, to me, I think, the biggest opening for me was when my father-in-law taught me about real estate. I was already a millionaire as a musician.
Yeah.
But that guy just blew my mind, man. He introduced me into things I never knew existed, and then trusted me as well. And then because of my contribution, I became a shareholder in practically all his companies. And before he died, he said, look, can you take charge?
Yeah.
And because you already know what to do, take charge and run this thing and help my family to enjoy the wealth that I'm leaving them. Yeah. So that's my training. I'm trained as a music performer on the saxophone. I'm classically trained, classical music. I started playing jazz in 2005 when I was a teacher at Aga Khan Academy. So I started making money as a jazz performer, apart from growing my salary as a teacher at Aga Khan Academy. Then in 2006, when this jazz was now really growing and needed to travel, I couldn't sustain teaching, so I resigned. In 2006 to focus on jazz.
Yeah, performance.
To focus on. I was also running Jetha House of Music at the same time.
Oh, okay.
My wife actually is the one who runs the institution. Yeah. So she was running Jetha House of Music. I was teaching at Aga Khan Academy. Then I was doing jazz. Those 3 things brought us tremendous success. So I resigned to focus on them. I was running the church Finger of God when I was a teacher at Aga Khan Academy. Finger of God was registered in 2017.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2007. That's when it was registered. That's when I started the ministry. It's been there for a long time. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's me.
Yeah. So which countries did you travel to, like, during that time? Because you're saying, like, you'd go to a place where a ticket is like $200.
That's a charge here.
Oh, that's here?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If I go abroad, come on, one performance of 3 songs is like 2 million Kenya shillings, man.
Yeah.
I did a tour of South Africa, the provinces of South Africa, and something called Akumda, African Cultural Music and Dance. So it was me, Kayamba Africa, and a gentleman called, what was his name? Absalom somebody. Yeah, he was an Afro kind of musician.
Yeah.
So we were the 3 groups that were selected by the Kenyan Ministry of Culture to represent Kenya. And we went there and made quite some serious money. And that's why we ended up meeting with Themba Mkhize, a great jazz pianist.
Yeah.
If you Google him, you'll find him. Great jazz pianist. We performed alongside Yuma Sekela. In fact, he actually hosted us in his house.
Oh.
Yeah. I was music director for Valerie Kimani. You know who a music director is?
Yeah.
The one who puts the whole thing together. And I traveled with her for Joy of Jazz, all over as her music director and also as a saxophonist and stuff like that. So she was one person I trained as well.
Yeah.
She was my vocal student, Valerie Kimani. I've trained very many people. in this country. Yeah, so if we travel out of the country, it's big money.
Oh, okay.
If we perform here, it's normal.
Mm.
The 200, 20,000 shillings per ticket, 30,000 if we do a private, let's say, performance.
Mm.
If it's just a normal gig, the normal gigs pay much less. It depends on their budget. So if you're, for example, I performed at the Kempinski every Tuesday.
Yeah.
But there, because we were performing every Tuesday, so they were paying us $500 per performance.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is still quite fine per month. Yeah. Not bad money at all for 4 musicians,
Yeah.
a band of 4. When we do corporate gigs, we are engaged. Corporates love jazz.
Yeah.
In corporate, they'll pay you between 250,000 to 1.5 million, depending on their budget. So it just really depends on your agreement with them. Yeah, so that's how I've made my money. But now I'm in land.
Yeah, yeah. You're in land.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Land is slow, but when it produces revenue, it's huge.
Good. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
But so you left Starai in 94?
94.
And you said you started traveling with jazz and like pursuing that in 2005. That's 11 years later.
Yes.
So in between, you went to university. What did you do in between?
I started working before going to university.
Yeah.
I was the principal of Real Music School.
Oh.
Yeah, so I ran Real Music School, later bought it and turned it to Jetha House of Music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was doing that straight after Starehe. Yeah, and then also raising funds to further my education because of that, Starehe, Dr. Griffin didn't like the fact I was doing music.
Yeah, yeah.
So I couldn't have got the benefits of sponsorship to go and study in England. I especially wanted to study in England because of the classical approach to the music I was doing. I helped publish some books for KIE during that time, some music books, and then worked on my university education after I joined Aga Khan Academy.
Oh.
Yeah, in fact, Aga Khan was instrumental in taking me through professional development. Yeah, so I was teaching at Aga Khan Academy before I graduated.
Yeah. You said you left Aga Khan in
2006.
2006.
Yeah.
Okay. So by the time all these other scandals were happening, you didn't have any like employment that maybe your reputation would have been so damaged.
No, I was running my own businesses. Yeah. So, but of course, the negative information people got affected my performances. It affected the jazz a little bit, just locally, not internationally. It didn't affect my teaching because my target market is not given to cheap gossip. There are people who've gone through difficulties as well. If you succeed in this life, people will fight you. I remember at that time, one of my clients was accused of dealing in guns as well. We were at DCI together, so we sat together and said, so what brings you here? Oh, they're accusing me of guns. I said, oh, I'm accused of that too. Guns and ivory and drugs and all manner of things. And he was one of our clients at Jetha House of Music. So people who do big businesses tend to get into trouble. You can imagine, wasn't our president inducted by ICC? Yeah. So if I were to do business with the president, for example, he wouldn't look at me thinking, oh, you are the guy who was once arrested. He was arrested too.
Yeah.
Do you see? So this did not affect our target market. They are not given to negative media.
Yeah.
These people do research. Yeah. It affected some, not all, of the performances we used to do in some places. They started saying, we don't want our
brand
institution or brand to be associated with you. And as soon as the matter was thrown out, we were back to business.
Okay.
Yeah.
And because you keep talking about the target market, so I must ask, how much are the classes at Jetha?
Oh, you pay 4,000 Kenya shillings per hour.
Oh, okay.
Yes, 4,000 shillings per hour. You need about 5 hours a week.
Yeah.
If you are to finish your syllabus. So you can imagine if you have, let's say roughly, by the time this thing was happening, we had about 200 students. The numbers are much higher now because we're also doing online lessons. So you can imagine if you handle 200 students a week and each one is paying you 4,000 shillings an hour.
And they're doing at least 5 hours a week.
Yeah. Even if they were to do an hour a week,
it's still
just do the math.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I told you I've made much more money as a teacher than as a performer.
Oh, okay.
And I usually tell musicians that for you to survive in the music industry, especially here, do some teaching. Teach the guitar, teach that singing. You'll make much more money. And then when the big gigs come, that just becomes a bonus. But it's not that easy to sustain a career just as a performer in Nairobi. It's not that easy, especially after COVID and all that. These things are sporadic. They come in a big way, and then there's a lull, then there's another one in a big way. So unless you're selling merchandise and you really understand social media, monetization and all that, performance is not something you can fully depend on just performing. Yeah, you can't fully depend on it. You have to do other things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And do you feel like Griffin you had this thing where he used to say, like, if you have to do something, you have to do it perfectly, yeah?
Yeah, I do my things perfectly. Yeah. That's why we win. We even win internationally. Our students are the best in East Africa. In other words, Jetha House is the best in East Africa in terms of music education and music training. And you know, the king, before it was the Queen of England is the patron of our examining body. Yeah. Now it's the King of England. So it's a highly reputable system of music education. Yeah.
So what do you teach? It's playing instruments?
Everything's to do with music theory, and all instruments. Drums, guitar, piano, flute, violin, saxophone, oboe, all the orchestral instruments, plus singing, plus music theory.
Yeah.
And of course now we are doing performance as well. So we teach people to perform. All our students perform at least 3 or 4 times a year. We create a concert for them to help them understand the business of music. And then we do music recording. We record our students if they're interested, or any other person. I mentioned to you that our students are from kids to adults. We have adult students as well.
Okay.
As long as you want to play a musical instrument. And if you want to be certified, then we take you all the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And another thing that I have just noticed is when you talked about people who've been persecuted, yes?
Yeah.
You didn't mention the Kitawarambas and the... What do you think about that? Like the Pastor Mackenzies? Because I think they're going through worse than you.
I don't think they're going through worse than me. I don't think so. Their matter was big for a few weeks.
Yeah.
My matter was big for 1.5 years. It would be the controversial jazz maestro, the leader of the cult, then President Mwai Kibaki, then Raila, in that order, in news, if you remember those days. It was much worse. Yeah. But I don't want to talk about who has suffered more than the other.
Yeah, okay. But okay, what's your opinion from the outside looking in? Are they being persecuted, or do you feel
my opinion is this?
Yeah.
I don't want to reach any conclusion about what's being investigated by our investigating arm of the CIDs. But I would say very quickly that our government has been shoddy in investigations. They rush to arrest, rush to charge, after which, even if a person is culpable, they end up being acquitted for lack of investigations. They need to do proper investigations first. Yeah? And if it means detaining somebody, they should probably detain them. You can tell somebody to be reporting to the chief or to the CID headquarters every Friday or something. As you do your investigations, you don't arrest, like the way they did to Pastor Ezekiel and the like. You don't arrest. Come up with a charge quickly.
Yeah.
Because you can't detain somebody for much longer than required by law. So you really have to charge them at some point. Why not do your 6 months investigations? The way all serious people do, unless you're politicizing the whole thing, or unless you have some bone to pick. After you have a watertight case against somebody, take them to court, and you'll find that person being jailed or being fined. In my case, if they just spent, let's just say 1 week, investigating me, or let's say 3 months, investigating Quincy, Esther, the church, our businesses, we would never have been taken to court in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there was nothing to hide. You see, a cult is a secret society. It's secret. There are secrets about it. Our things happened in the open. We never run away from anybody. Even today, we still do our things in the open. People can question the things we do. The music I released in the open.
Yeah.
Okay? The problem with most people is that they don't understand music as a genre. They don't understand different genres. So if I get evaluated by or adjudicated by wannabes and those who are not music experts, I just laugh them to scorn. I just laugh them off.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like going to court and sitting in front of a person who's not a lawyer as a judge. If you go to court, you are judged by a lawyer. If it is music, we shall be judged by experts in that field. And because we know our target, the market we target likes that style. So you cannot tell me to stop doing business successfully just because my style, for example, jazz is not everybody's cup of tea. There are people who just don't like it. It doesn't make us fail in life. We target those who like jazz, and those who like jazz pay dearly for it. They pay a premium for it. Jazz is expensive. It's for the elite. Let me just make it plain. And I have no apologies targeting the elite because they're also people.
Yeah, and you don't need many clients, eh?
I don't need many clients. So if my show is attended by 20 people and each of them is paying 100,000 shillings, I'm good to go. Yeah? Do you see?
Yeah, so you heard about like Sauti Soul have a concert that they're going to charge 20,000 shillings. You heard about the whole...
I found that so stupid. Let them charge even 50,000. Those guys are so good, man.
Yeah.
Even 100,000, by the way, if Sauti Soul were to say, this is for the elite of the society, 100,000 shillings per ticket, that concert would still be successful. These people, Sauti Soul guys, started... I remember BN, when I was doing Tasker Project Fame. I remember BN coming to help this Patricia Kihoro.
Yeah.
Because Patricia was singing their whatever, Niku Peleke Java, Tunye Kahawa,
Lazizi, the cover.
Lazizi, yes. So BN came to help her with that song because she wanted to do some of the things. I was helping her then, just before the fiasco of Finger of God. I was helping her with her album and the like at that particular time. She was not part of the church though.
Yeah.
It was just a Project Fame thing. So I saw BN those days. He didn't even have a car. He came walking with his guitar. And he was there helping this girl. He's a good man. You know, he's got a good heart.
Yeah.
And he just kept building this Sauti Soul thing together with his friends until it became the outfit it is today. We need to clap for those guys.
Yeah.
Great job. So they deserve more expensive cover than 20K. So whoever is thinking that they are now becoming whatever, is it arrogant or what? Yeah? Come on, if you can't afford it, just leave it.
Yeah.
Pay for what you can afford.
Yeah, I think we talked about that.
Yeah.
But hey, I have to say thank you for your time.
Most welcome.
And also thank you for having a sense of humor. I always feel like people are so sensitive.
Yeah.
Like nowadays, you can't just give people like an opinion. Because one thing I'd say from the people who used to criticize you, it was we were looking at it from the point of this girl was successful, and we thought that maybe you are super tight with Hellon. Not Hellon, with Quincy. So you're the one who told Quincy, like, choose. Yeah, I thought it was a matchmaking.
Oh,
like
okay.
You sat down and said the two of you should be together, because that happens in a lot of churches.
It's sad. It should never happen.
Yeah. And then afterwards, of course, her life spiraled like out of control. No one would have thought about the direction it went, because now the murder case, that's now, you can't blame that on anyone. That's personal. But yeah, it was good to see. And you also handle your own Facebook? Because I didn't even know. I was like, is this the admin? Is this you?
If you see Apostle Joseph Hellon, it's me. It's no one else.
Okay.
I spend about 3 hours a day just doing social media work. Because I like a certain level of excellence. Of course, I have a social media manager who she has her own specific work. But when it comes to some specific questions that people ask, I answer myself.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you find a response on my Facebook page or Instagram or any other social media platform, you'll know you're talking to the real guy, the real McCoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you put your file number, I was like, this has to be here. Then yeah. So
and here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
The real guy, not a fake one.
Yeah. Thank you for giving us your side of the story, man. It's been eye-opening.
Yeah.
Is Joginder Singh in prison right now?
Yes, he's in a hospital prison.
Oh, hospital prison.
He's a very smart guy. Even there, he's still messing with them.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Told them that he's crazy.
Let me tell you how this guy is playing games, even with the Australian government. You know, when you go to a country, when you go on exile, usually you're repatriated back to your country upon change of regime.
Yeah.
Do you see? So when Mwai Kibaki's regime was over and Uhuru Kenyatta's regime took over, because he purported it is the Mwai Kibaki regime that was persecuting him and his wife.
Yeah.
That's why they got that exile thing, status. So the regime changed. So your status is reviewed. They'll say this new regime doesn't seem to be persecuting you. And the one that was persecuting you no longer has the instruments of power. So go back to your country. So to avoid that, he killed his child. Remember, he's a guy who practices witchcraft. Witches kill people. He's in, let me give you a secret of these guys, because I investigated that guy seriously as a spiritual man. It's a code called the Enochian Code. This is a group of people that can appear and disappear. Now, I saw Quincy do that when he was arrested by the immigration department of CIDs.
He did what?
He disappeared, and the guy started looking for him.
Yeah.
At Nyayo House, 7th floor.
Yeah.
Seated like this, the guy just disappeared into thin air. He had that capacity. So he was doing witchcraft for real. For real. Witchcraft is real, man. It's in the Bible as well. Yeah. Then he reappeared. He said, no, for the sake of Esther, let me. He came back. So he went to court, messed with those guys. His case was thrown out. Yeah. So he decided to commit a, homicide.
Yeah.
So that he is incarcerated to avoid being repatriated. Do you see? Now you go to appreciate that the prison, the hospital prison, is like a 3-star hotel.
Yeah.
You go to that place, you can go to school if you like. You can study, get your 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th degree if you like. And if you behave well, and especially because he's in prison as a mad person, he's faking that. He's faking madness. He used to do that. He used to say, act the fool until you get what you're looking for, and then get back to normal. So he went acting the fool. But being a witch, witches kill, it's normal for them. Okay? So he did that intentionally for him to be taken to the prison hospital. He knew very well that the wife would be given a suspended sentence.
Yeah.
Because she cooperated with investigators. When you do, you're usually given a suspended sentence or a watered-down kind of sentence, non-custodial, really. So in his case, he's living in a 3-star hotel, eating good food. He has access to whatever. It's only that he's not free to be out there. And if he behaves well, after some time, they'll release him. So you see, he's smarter than all those guys.
And when he's released, you don't think he'll be deported back?
Even if he's deported, he'll have got whatever he wants. You see, you go to school and the prison pays for you.
Yeah.
He might probably change careers from being a witch to something else, maybe an IT expert or something, artificial intelligence of sorts. He's really good in computers, I'm telling you. Never met a guy like that.
Oh, okay.
That guy used to crack into the standing orders of parliament. He just knew how to crack into anything.
Oh, okay.
Do you know he cracked into CNN website and started reporting as this Anampu, what's her name?
Christian Amanpur.
Yes.
Yeah.
By the time those guys were discovering it was not Christian, he had posted so many, things on their website about himself.
Okay.
People underestimated Quincy. Totally underestimated him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I personally I'll say people underestimated Joginda because that's the real, that's the essence.
But his passport reads Quincy Wambita, Zuma, Timberlake. That's what his passport reads. Even
this Zuma, he named himself after the South African Zuma.
Yes.
And then the Timberlake here was from Justin.
Justin Timberlake, yes.
Damn.
He has this. Okay, let me tell you something more
about
his ways. He knows how to act like someone else.
Yeah.
Because that's how he cons people. So you can imagine how many people he conned as president of South Africa.
Oh, okay.
He even somewhat looks like him. Yeah. Do you see? So he was lying to people that he was actually child of Zuma. And people bought the lie.
Oh, okay. So he'd like, for you to get this favor, pay me this amount of money.
Yes,
I'll get you access
connect
to
you, and then you get a phone call and you think this is Zuma. So the group of people he worked with knew how to impersonate impeccably. They were so good at impersonation. Yeah, there are people like that. That's their career. They're witches who pretend to be someone else. That's how he pretended to be Pastor Benny Hinn. Yeah.
He pretended?
Yeah, he cracked into his system and started sending me emails as if he were Pastor Benny Hinn. I later discovered that it wasn't a genuine Pastor Benny Hinn. It was Quincy and his laptop. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And you said like the first time you met him, he had some wazungus around. Who are those?
Those are part of the system.
Or they are
it is a cartel. Yeah, they make lots of money. They make millions. It's a huge cartel. So he was like their errands boy. You see, before you rise up the ranks.
Yeah.
You are sent to do all these crazy things. You're the one who gets arrested. The rest of them are sitting in offices. You know, people who con in gemstones and people who con through impersonation are actually very smart people. Yeah. They appear with briefcases and that's their job, conning people.
Yeah.
Conmanship is not for some losers. They're smart people. Otherwise, how would they con a guy like Danson Mugatana?
Yeah.
They remember him. A lawyer. Lawyers do due diligence. They sell land. And if you're selling land, doing conveyancing, you have to do such serious due diligence before you sign agreement. The guy was conned 10-0 through the same system. So when I saw him on TV, I said, it's not just Joseph Hellon that can be conned. Intelligent people can be conned. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh. And maybe the last thing I'm going to ask you is when you talked about this large-scale real estate, so you're involved in Nairobi or outskirts. Is it land? Is it houses?
Mombasa, Laikipia, Nairobi. We have a lot of properties in Mombasa. Yeah, but I don't want to mention some of those private things. Unless another Quincy jumps into my land deals. No. I've learned my lessons.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I understand. So
Naivasha, Kisumu, Mombasa, Nairobi, but we are much bigger in Laikipia.
Oh, okay. Okay. Asante sana. So imekuwa ni episode 204. Kama kawaida, like, subscribe, hit the notification button, tell a friend to tell a friend. Asante sana Hellon. Tukimalizia,
thank you for having me. Thank you.
Iko Nini.
Iko Nini.